Hello aspirants, looking at current affairs for 19th December. The news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 7. We'll look at them in detail. The first one, a 6th straight win for BJP in Prime Minister's home state. So the Gujarat Assembly elections results are out and BJP won in the state for the 6th consecutive time. So its majority in the state has been reduced to 99 seats. That is the lowest since 1995. Congress got 77 seats in the state. So Nota, none of the above, also grabbed 5.5 lakh votes, that is just under 2% of the total votes polled. So this is the Gujarat Assembly elections results. Even in Himachal Pradesh, Gujarat, the BJP has won. So this is the saffron surge, the BJP winning elections in various states. You can see the 2014 map, and in 2017 now from 7, BJP has its government in 19 states in the country and Congress in 4. The next is plea in Supreme Court seeks OBC status for farmers. So a petition has been filed in the Supreme Court on OBC status. It is seeking OBC status for farmers, which is an occupational group. So irrespective of caste and religion, farmers should be given the status of OBC is what is being demanded. Recently, even a memorandum had come from the state government of Gujarat to and even from the central government that OBC criteria for creamy layer would be the income limit would be enhanced from 6 lakh to 8 lakh rupees. So this is also there. So the Supreme Court has now asked the central government, Gujarat government, and even National Commission for Backward Classes to respond on this petition. So this actually this validity of this memorandum for increasing the income slab as such for creamy layer criteria under OBC is also being questioned in this petition. So here you can see this is the OBC. The creamy layer as such is excluded from reservation. Otherwise, the non-creamy layer gets reservation in educational institutions, admissions to educational institutions, and even government jobs. So this is the recent announcement of 2017. The next is Rajasthan activists worried over court order on pictorial warning. So this is regarding the pictorial warning on tobacco products. So cigarettes and other tobacco products have this pictorial warning, and manufacturers have petitioned before the courts on this matter. So this is regarding COTPA, that is cigarettes and other tobacco products packaging and labeling rules. Actually, it's an act, COTPA Act of 2003, and there have been rules framed under it from time and again. So the 2014 rules, which are the latest rules framed by the central government under this, have enhanced the pictorial warning on packages of cigarettes and other tobacco products to 85%. So from around 40%, it has been enhanced to 85%. So the last rules before 2014 were the 2008 rules, which were amended in 2014. So the 40% pictorial warning criteria has presently been retained, and in a recent judgment by Karnataka High Court, it ruled that 85% pictorial warning rules, these rules of 2014, are unconstitutional. So this was the High Court ruling recently in December 2017 itself. So this has created concerns amongst health activists across the country. So actually these petitions have been filed, you can see, in various courts by Tobacco Institute of India, cigarette manufacturers like ITC, BD, and other tobacco product manufacturers. So all these cases which are pending in high courts of Karnataka, Kolkata, Delhi, Bombay, Gujarat, and Rajasthan, these cases, and the Supreme Court has transferred all these cases to Karnataka High Court. And the Karnataka High Court gave its ruling in December 2017 that these 2014 rules are unconstitutional. So this is a partial victory for tobacco products manufacturers, cigarettes and tobacco product manufacturers. So now they will have to adhere to only 50% pictorial warning criteria as such. And this 85% pictorial warning, which was mandated on both sides, this has been declared unconstitutional. Why it has been declared unconstitutional, we'll see that too, how the Karnataka High Court gave this ruling. So in this ruling, it was said that actually the rules have been framed by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So this particular ministry has unilaterally framed the rules. This issue was also pending The rules that were notified were before the Parliamentary Committee on Subordinate Legislation, and the Parliamentary Committee was examining them. And while it was examining them, these rules were notified of 2014, which came into effect from 2016. So it has been said by the Karnataka High Court that this is actually a subject of tobacco control, and legislation is not attached to one department or ministry. So Ministry of Health and Family Welfare unilaterally cannot frame the rules. It was the Ministry of Commerce which had opposed this 85% pictorial warning on the ground that it would not result in any benefit, and it wanted the restriction only to 40 to 50%. Also, Labour Ministry had opposed this pictorial warning. Concerns were raised by the ministry on the harm it would cause to the livelihoods of several poor families in the beedi industry. So this is there. So it has been stated that it violates the rules under Article 77, Conduct of Business Rules as such too, and also Transaction of Business Rules. But one particular ministry cannot unilaterally take a decision, and even if that is the case, that if these rules have been framed by the central government, still while the case is pending before Parliamentary Committee on Subordinate Legislation, the rules could not have been notified. So now if the government wants to continue with 85% pictorial warning criteria, then it will have to frame new rules. So presently the Karnataka High Court judgment actually applies all over the country, and the rules now would revert back to 2008 rules, means 40% pictorial warning. So this is regarding COTPA Act 2. So the section 4 of this act prohibits smoking in public places. Section 5 prohibits advertisement of cigarettes and other tobacco products, though we see various cases of advertisements in a different way being framed as such too. So those are called surrogate ads. So ads of some other product, but the brand or the company which is being put forth is actually a cigarette or tobacco brand. Then section 6A, which prohibits the sale of cigarettes and other tobacco products to person below 18 years of age. Section 6B prohibits sale of cigarettes and other tobacco products in radius of 100 yards from an educational institution. And Section 7 prohibits sale of cigarettes or other tobacco products without the label of specified warning, including the pictorial depiction. And this is regarding the effectiveness of large pictorial warnings, a viewpoint put forth. So you can see it can be noticed easily by smokers. It increases awareness of health risks. It promotes quitting also, and it specifically prevents smoking initiation amongst non-smokers. So at least new smokers would not be attracted towards cigarettes looking at the pictorial warnings. So you can see in various countries how much percentage pictorial warning is given. In Australia, with 75% in front and 90% on the back. Thailand also has 85% front and back, as India had called for. Then next is estate owners behind forest fires, say environmentalists. So there have been cases of forest fires in Western Ghats during winters presently, and these are claimed by environmentalists to not be natural. These are not natural forest fires, but attempts by estate owners in the region. They want to illegally extend their boundaries into the reserve forest area. So that is why these forest fires are being initiated, is the allegation. So you can see the vast extent of forest land, including Shola forest and grasslands, is destroyed because of these forest fires. So there are many estates here. So estates means plantation estates which are growing rambutan, rubber, coffee and other produce on the foothills of the Western Ghats. So they regularly encroach reserve forest land. So the modus operandi is to first set fire, then spray chemicals in the next year so that the entire region is denuded from any green cover. Then no green cover comes up, and then they later extend the boundary of their estate in this reserve forest area. Then next is Rafael deal has better terms, cleared by CCS, says Nirmala. So these are the statements presently given in the parliament by the defense minister, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman. So actually this Rafael deal has been questioned by the opposition, principally the Congress political party. It is said to be a huge scam. So we'll see what is the background of this Rafael deal. So it's actually an intergovernmental agreement which has been put into effect presently. India and France, government-to-government agreement, in which it has been decided that 36 Rafales in direct flyaway condition would be procured for the Indian Air Force. So this is said to be a critical requirement of India. That is why it is being procured. So this is 7.87 billion euro agreement which has been signed in September 2016. So this you can see, it will be for the aircraft, spares, weapons, also 10-year annual maintenance and associated equipments will be provided, and with a 50% offset clause. So this offset clause basically means that whatever earnings Rafael would have from this deal, 50% of it would reinvest back into the country through its local partners too. So this is the case. So actually this intergovernmental agreement, a government to government agreement, came forth after previous deal could not see a breakthrough. So actually India wanted medium multi-role combat aircrafts, for which a request for proposal was initiated in 2007. So many contenders came forward as such. So there was a requirement of 128 fighter jets, out of which 18 would be procured in direct flyaway condition and 108 would be manufactured in India. So this was also part of Make in India in Defense. So this was the actual request for proposal, for which various companies came forward. Finally, 2 of the 6 vendors which were shortlisted were finally found to be fully compliant, and out of these 2 also Eurofighter was not selected. It was Dassault Aviation which was selected, the French company which manufactures Rafaels. So this request for proposal then was awarded to Dassault Aviation, and then after the bidding, and then it was the negotiations initiated. But the negotiations saw deadlock because Dassault was not ready to take complete responsibility of all those Rafaels which would be manufactured in India by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. So because of this, the deal could not see a breakthrough, and finally the deal was scrapped and intergovernmental agreement route was used to procure 36 fighter jets in flyaway conditions directly. So Dassault has also tied up with Reliance Defense. So this offset clause will be executed through them. So Congress party has alleged that this is a huge scam and accused the Modi government of promoting the interest of Prime Minister's crony capitalist friends. So this is the allegation, and this is the entire background of 2007 tender coming forth in 2011, 6 vendors giving their bids, and then finally Rafael winning over Eurofighter Typhoon. But then the deal could not see a breakthrough, and this direct purchase was done of 36 Rafael fighter jets in 2016. Then next is US vetoes UN call on Jerusalem status. So this we already have discussed, that US has declared that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. We recognize it so, and we'll shift our diplomatic mission also in Jerusalem. UN actually has called for a status quo on the matter, so Jerusalem cannot be declared unilaterally by Israel as its capital. So that is why UN Security Council saw a resolution being initiated. So this resolution drafted by Egypt was calling for such attempts being not being promoted as such, that any decision and action which alters the character, status or demographic composition of Holy City of Jerusalem should have no legal effect. It should be null and void, and all other countries also should refrain from establishing diplomatic missions in Jerusalem. So this was the resolution which was put for voting in UN Security Council. So you should know UN Security Council has 15 members. Out of 15 members, 14 members voted in favor of this resolution, but US, which is a member with veto power, vetoed this resolution, because of which this resolution cannot be put into effect. And it has been stated that US used its veto in Security Council now after more than 6 years. So of course, since US is a veto wielding nation in United Nations Security Council, UN resolution against it cannot be put into effect. So, but this is showing international condemnation of President Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Then the last news item is IT notice to 5 lakh high net worth individuals over Bitcoins. So Income Tax Department has issued notice, planning to issue notices to 4 to 5 lakh HNI individuals across the country who are trading on exchanges of Bitcoins. So there are these Bitcoin exchanges. Bitcoins we have discussed quite often, so I'm not going through it again. It's a virtual currency. I'll give a link to the video at the end of this video so that you can go to it and get details entirely about Bitcoins. So Bitcoins presently, at least you know, they are not regulated in the country. It's a virtual currency, a cryptocurrency, but there are Bitcoins exchanges which are functional in the country too. And income tax department is now checking into instances of tax evasion. So who is investing, where is the money coming from, what is done of the earnings from this is being looked into now. So you can see Bitcoins are bought, sold via Bitcoin exchanges or online transactions. A popular app in India is ZebPay. So you can see Bitcoins can be transferred to by peer-to-peer transactions to or mobile apps also. And they are generated by internet mining. New Bitcoins are generated solving maths puzzles, and they have a limited circulation. And we have recently seen how Bitcoin's value have surged, which is resulting in more interest in Bitcoins. But income tax department in India is also keen on ensuring that this does not result in any illegal activity taking place, tax evasion taking place. So you can see how can it be, how Bitcoins are black marketed also is detailed out here. So these are the news items. Thank you.